Good morning, everybody, and a very, very warm welcome to an exciting episode of Ask the Accountant. Today is episode number 162. Your date is the 8th of December 2025. Not long left till 2026. And here's the official spiel that we're going to start putting at the beginning of every single episode. Hello, welcome to Ask the Accountant, part of the Ask the Accountant Network, podcast network for accountants and bookkeepers, supported by our Patreon community. And a shout out to our coolest of cool listeners. And at this point, if you want to put your name there, then come over to the Patreon and we'll get your name on that list. If you'd like to join a supporter, visit our Patreon page for bonus content and more. My name is Aaron Patrick, and with me today is the one and only Johann. Johann, how has your week been? And then let's talk about the weekend. So let's talk about the week first, because I know you've had a busy one.
Yeah,
and let's end
busy
on
week. Spent most of my week in and around the Reading area. So yeah, just lots of meetings and stuff. I'm so looking forward to Saturday when I get back from my last travel for 2025. It's been a long year. There's been a lot of travel this year. What's scaring me is how much travel it looks like there's going to be on next year. I might need to be a politician and buy a second home and just base myself in and around the Reading area. I mean, that's a business expense, right? I mean, the politicians get away with
politicians
it.
can do it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Must be legal. If a politician does it, it must be legal. That's my theory.
Or get yourself a camper van, like an ID Buzz, and just it's mobile. Then you can have it wherever you want.
If we're going to do that, we may as well get the Ask the Accountant satellite van.
I mean, it's on the board. It's on the vision board. So let's make it happen.
But yeah, no, good week overall. How was yours?
Week-wise, yeah. Actually, not as busy as yours, which I was really, really grateful for. We've got a lot of things happening in the background. Our end. There's a news hopefully next week, maybe the week after. But yeah, look, it's all hands to the pump at the moment. So I was glad not to be traveling like you. It's far too much traveling this year. All for good though. Like I got to go to Guernsey, I got to go to all sorts of places, so it was all worth it. But I am just grateful that this week is me basically either this office or the other office, and that's it. I'm like tied to these office desks until at least January the 31st, I think, which I'm actually really happy about. So yeah, good. Now let's talk about the weekend. So something happened. Something very important happened. Talk to me how it went your end, and then we'll get the community involved.
It was a long 2 days, wasn't it? Right.
It was
for very different reasons to previous weekend for me, but still same levels of anxiety and won't he do it? What will the other teams do, etc. I mean,
so
yeah.
Which weekend were you talking about then?
Well, yeah. This one. But yeah, like it's what an end to the season. And the real winners for this whole season have really been the fans. Like the entertainment factor, the ups and downs. Like this is what we love about F1. So yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, really happy with that. How about your end?
Absolutely ecstatic. I mean, for you, bittersweet, right? It wasn't the driver you wanted to win.
It wasn't Oscar, but it was McLaren. As long as it wasn't Max, I really didn't care.
I was about to put a joke saying about Max, but you beat me to it. So look, I could do the whole hour on Lando and everything else. I think my quick takeaways was it was interesting you mentioned about last week as well, because have you seen the hate he's getting on social media, which is absolutely ridiculous? Like, come on. Like this
Lando's getting hate
on big time. All the Max fans, all the Oscar fans. Yeah, it's all childish. It's just what it is, right? Like it just winds me up that we're at this place where it doesn't matter what happened in the world. Like there's always going to be someone having an opinion about something when why they haven't, like it just causes aggro for the sake of aggro, right? You've had it last week, like I alluded to. I've had it in this year as well. It just doesn't make sense, right? Like, what if you're gonna, like, constructive criticism, yes, but just outright, just pure bullying in the case of Lando is ridiculous. for me, because I got to go to the Lando stand, right, which is why I'm wearing my hat and I've got my Lando top on and all this, that, and the other and everything else. I felt like this one meant more to me, because of that like experience and everything else. Like that was already a great experience, and now it's even sweeter, right? I think orange to me is going to be a very important color going forward, and you'll understand why later down the line. So kind of everything's now is like, oh, what about if I get that in orange? We even went to look at a car at the weekend because our car's coming up to renewal, and we walked into the showroom, and the wife saw an orange car, and that was it. That's the car we're having. Like specs wise, probably not right, price wise, probably not right, but because it was orange.
And the orange wasn't even the original color, was it? That was just the rust.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like, right, okay. So we're on this kind of this thing. So McLaren and Lando and everything's just hitting the right time. But I'm overcritical at the moment of like, because I feel sorry for you actually, and for everyone else that I was messaging during the race, right? Because I was risk assessing every single lap and every single corner, right? I feel like that's where I am at the moment. I'm ultra sensitive at the moment to any form of risk. There's stuff going on with ICAW. There's all sorts of stuff going on, right? And it's like I am now, for whatever reason, I'm risk averse to the nth degree. I'm looking at it, and it was like everything was. It was like, you might get this 5-second penalty. If he gets this 5-second penalty, then what happens if there's a safety car? And if there's a safety car, it's going to go all the way back. You know what I mean? Like every single lap, wasn't it? It was like I was texting you, what if?
It was a delight.
Yeah, you were like, just let me enjoy the race.
Enjoy the moment, man. God damn it.
Even at the end, I was like, but he didn't go and he didn't go on the scales. He's not been on the scales yet. He's there hugging all these people, like tears everywhere, everyone else. And I'm like, but he's not been on the scales yet. If he doesn't go on the scales, he's not going to get disqualified.
You won't get his little bit of paper.
So I feel like for me, it's like it just shows like how risk sensitive I am at the moment. And but it's cool. It's all cool. But what a result! What a victory! Everything. It was just absolutely brilliant. Marcus was first in with 8:30. So good morning, Marcus. I wonder what the dash R5E stands for. Now that we get to see these insights into people's usernames and stuff, I wonder what the R5E. They can Renault 5.
I thought they'd started working, but they haven't really, have they?
No, because we've got Shovelstone 3960. So if you ever find out what the 3960 stands for, we'll love to know. Good morning.
I can make an assumption, but I wouldn't want to age someone.
Bless you. Good morning. Well done, Lando. Can't put a car emoji because there's only a red one. Can we get that sorted, please? Can we get a petition up and running?
YouTube
for that one. Kirsty St. John says, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Kirsty. Natasha Bookkeeper Superhero says, morning, everyone. Good morning. Paul Whitehouse Chariot Accountancy says, good morning. See, I like that. I like how he's got both his brands in there. He's got his full name, then he's got his Paul Ingram J1M. So we've got to figure out what the J1M stands for. Good morning, everyone, to Paul. Juliet McKenna T9F says, good morning. Good morning to you, Juliet. Hope you are doing well. Kirsty just says, good morning again on the computer version this time. Excellent. Yeah, it does tell us now if you're on mobile or computer. That is quite nice to see. First time we've had that functionality. Good morning, everyone from London. I hope everyone had a good weekend, says Mahal. Good morning to you, sir. Morning, nice hat, says Tim. Yep, thank you very much. I think I wore it in Guernsey as well, so maybe not. Stephanie Marshall's 7791. We got to figure out what the 7791 says. Lano. Hope you enjoyed watching it as well, Steph. She was in the pub watching it, which I don't know if I could do that. I was too much of a wreck. I don't think I could have been in the
you need to be able to see the screen, see the analytics, and most pubs they put it on. It's in there's a few pubs in Edinburgh that will show the F1, but the screens are up in the ceiling, far away. You can't really see the analytics and stuff. It's like, no.
Yeah. I think also for me, I'm just conscious of what I would be like. I shouldn't be in public for a race like that.
If it goes wrong and you start throwing glasses and stuff around, you need to be able to do it in your own home, not in a pub.
Yeah, exactly. One place I worked for had a company flat in King's Cross, saved money against hotel. Excellent. So an Engager office/flat in Woking. Yeah, it's good work. Susanna says good morning, Susanna. Hope you're and I suppose we best shout out ICB's got an event on Tuesday. Susanna's on stage, so get yourself there if you can. It's MTD focused. Sue Green -M3 says, morning, guys. Mickey hat Aaron. How rude of you. First, she's a Zero fan.
Move on to the next one.
Oh, morning, everyone. Loving the hat. Okay. You've saved yourself there. So you've saved yourself there. Emily Rose Vaz, should I say, sorry. At one stage, I was literally watching from round the corner like Lando's mom. The nerves were next up. They were certainly, weren't they? They were certainly. When he went in for that pit stop and yeah, had to come back out from there. I
just waiting for the stewards to assess the
when he was knocked off the road by Yuki.
The fact that they'd already, like I said to you, like the fact that they've already flagged Yuki for dangerous driving to be investigated. You can't punish someone for responding to dangerous driving.
I mean, if Michael Massey was there, he would have done. Cheryl Stone 3960 says your portrait rather than landscape. Lots of black screen. Yeah, let us know how that's looking. I mean, we're experimenting things in the background. It looks better now. I think it was better than it was last time.
Now it's not as close up of the nose and chin. It's far better.
Yeah. I still feel sorry for Amy on one of the QuickBooks Labs one where it was just her chin the whole time, the whole episode. NRJ Moss. Oh, Nick. Good morning, Nick. Morning, guys. See you later in the week, Joanne. 3 times in 3 weeks. You'll have had enough of me. Yeah. Do you spend a lot of time over in that tax calc offices?
I know about it. Like, I'm going at the rate I'm going. I'll get upgraded from a hot desk to a permanent desk at the rate I'm going.
Yeah. Have you got yourself a way in yet? Have you got a little pass or not?
Yeah, I had a photo taken for it the other day.
Oh, really? And when you know you've made it, when you get yourself a pass, don't you?
Getting inducted now.
Susanna C. Bookkeeping says, morning, all. Good morning to you too. Steph says she was in the O2. Oh, excellent. I hope you enjoyed that. And she cried. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to admit or deny such allegations thrown my way. But anyway, let's talk about actual accounting news, as we are now 15 minutes into our podcast. It's about the world of accountancy and bookkeeping.
More importantly, for me, the F1 continues.
Well, oh yeah, you've got it tonight, haven't you?
So tonight, those that were watching an interview with Zach Brown last night will have noted when he was asked about how the celebrations are going to be, he said, well, I can't celebrate too hard. I've got to get a plane. That's because he's flying from Dubai. I don't know the route because I'm not a complete stalker, but I know he's landing in Edinburgh at some point because he's got a show tonight in Edinburgh where he's talking about his latest book, and I am going to be there, and I'm getting a signed copy of his book.
Amazing. So, oh, yes.
Roughly looking forward to that.
Yeah. Because he'll be in a good mood as well, you'd expect.
If not hungover.
Yeah. Instagram wise, Tim the accountant says good morning, and Tim the accountant says looking good on Insta with a kissing emoji. Look at that. You see, we're
getting there.
We finally made it onto Insta and looking good on Insta. That's good to see. Right. Okay. Quick shout out my end as well. If you haven't already, go and watch Dale's and Tony's, I'm going to butcher this, Flabgonia podcast. It was recorded within the week. You got your VOD options, so you can watch it on demand whenever you want to. Highly recommend it. Great podcast. I was on it, so that's why I'm
even the best podcasts invite dodgy guests every now and then.
Exactly right. You've got to bring the tone down so that they can, show off how good they are. But no, generally great podcast. What I did like was their use of StreamYard as well. They're smashing over there. So please go and have a look at that one and give it some love. Right, let's talk about our first topic of the week. And of course, we're going to be talking about something that made social media go crazy for a few days, and that has to be the zero API price hikes. Now, this is one where did we see it coming? I've got views on that, but let's just go by what's actually happened. Basically, they have changed the way they're going to be charging for integrators to be able to connect to their Zero platform, and it's gone from a very generous, I would say, API
But
option and connection.
if you
to
signed up before 2022,
Yeah,
it was free.
you're almost grandfathered in at that point, weren't you? And that's how it was.
Yep.
Yeah. So very generous at that point. As Johann said, it was free. Now there's going to be costs involved to getting your app on there or getting your app connected to the Zero API. And to say it's caused a stink,
I'll get some stick for this if I don't.
Yeah.
So if you signed up to the API with Zero before 2022, it was free at the time, and you continued using it for free up until today. If you signed up after 2022, you were started paying for the use of the API. So a lot of new softwares have been paying for the API use since 2023.
But is it the same like for like? Do you know, like what you are on, or is everyone being brought to basically what Engager was on, or is it a brand new price point from the day dot, and it's just that everyone's now on the same price point?
So in some ways, it's the same.
Okay.
So back in the day, you had two choices. You could either go onto this banding thing where it was a fixed monthly price, or you didn't have to do that. You could just be listed in the App Store and they take 10% or something of all your revenues.
Yeah, revenue split.
Very generous of them. So you can imagine what we told them to do with their App Store. And we went for the banding one because we knew what that was. We could work it out. We could work out a bolt-on charge.
Yeah.
Now, to a degree, that still exists in the new packaging. But what they've done is they've picked out some of the more important things like journals and gone, that's a bolt-on journals. So if you want that, that's an extra $7.95 for the first 10,000 transactions or something. So yeah, it's going to make it's interesting though, because startup softwares primarily choose Zero as their first API.
Yeah,
because
it's easier to build for, right?
It's easier to build for. Zero API has got better functionality over QuickBooks.
Yeah, agreed.
And the user base of Zero, rightly or wrongly, I'm not saying whether I agree or disagree, but the market research shows that people that are using Zero are more tech forward thinking and adopt tech quicker and easier. They're normally the early adopters of technology, according to the market research, which is why people go, well, I want the early adopters. I'll go to where those early adopters hang out. So, yeah, that's why historically softwares have always gone Zero first. Now, we did QuickBooks first because we were using QuickBooks at the time. But, yeah, so for new softwares to go, well, technically we want to go Zero first, but actually now it's going to be bloody expensive to do that. That's that's a challenge.
It is. And the way I see this, right, because the way I started it was we should expect this. And the only reason I said that is because Intuit did exactly the same. My timeline's all fuzzy at the moment, but let's say 6 months ago, right? We talked about it on the show.
They announced it 6 months ago. We've been looking at data for the last 5 or 6 months. I think it's due to come in this month or next.
Yeah, it's around about now that it comes in for I think it was maybe for start of 2026, right? I think that's when it came in. And in complete like transparency, and obviously I'm going to have a bias on this, so take that with a pinch of salt. But for me, Intuit needed to do that because they were behind, and they were embarrassingly behind, right? Their APIs compared to the likes of Zero, compared to everything, were nowhere near what they needed to be, right? The amount of functionality you could get by connecting your app to Zero compared to what you could to connect into QuickBooks wasn't good enough. So, rightly or wrongly, in Intuit's mind, I actually think it was the right thing to do. Is they've said, right, if we want to invest in their API, then we're going to charge for it, and we're going to overall bring out a better product. Like that's what they want to do, a catch up. They want to then surpass. They want to do the whole innovate, blah, 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 right? So, and we've got to hold them accountable for this. And I've said this in every podcast we've done and every bit of content I've ever done about it. We need to hold them accountable. They promise that by now charging for the API, they're going to deliver a better product. Fair enough. From Zero's point of view, though, they were already market leader. From Zero's point of view, they were already like the best API product out there. Did they need to go and charge as well? What, like, if they would have turned around and said, right, we're going to start charging because we're going to bring in this new feature, that new feature. You're going to have access to all these new things. Basically did what Intuit did and said, look, we're going to charge for it, but we're going to make the experience better to do that. Then you can kind of feel like, okay, there's a reason for this. I have yet to see a single addition or...
On top of that, it's not just the charging that's annoyed people. It's the rules that are coming in with this. So Xero are banning anyone using APIs from using that data to teach their LLM and AI models. Even though they don't technically own the data, the customer does, Xero are dictating what that customer can and can't give permission for that data to be used for. Now, I don't know where
would take them away from there
with that. So I wouldn't, maybe QuickBooks have got the same rules. I don't know. I've not read that anywhere. But
they've just announced a partnership with ChatGPT, haven't they? So there must be some leniency somewhere for it. Otherwise, ChatGPT wouldn't have that ability to, or OpenAI, I should say, wouldn't have that ability to do that. So that's an odd one, isn't it? That's a strange. Well, it's not strange because you can understand why. It's to keep their users on their platform, and I don't know. It just feels like money grabbing, and that's how this feels to me. Like if they needed to improve their APIs, fair enough, start charging for it. But all they're doing is going, right, well, we best monetize this to the nth degree, and it just feels like they're monetizing at every step now, right? They're increasing their general fees. They're increasing their API costs. They're limiting what you can or can't take out. Like it just seems like this is we've got our product, a really good product. Don't get me wrong, but now let's monetize that for all it's worth, without giving something to us in return. Like if they'd have said, look, we're going to bring this API in, but it's going to give you all these extra benefits, all these extra perks, blah 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 blah. Cool, we're on board on that, yeah. But just keeping the same product, but then putting a tighter monetary cost around it doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah, especially when so many businesses have built business models around that API.
Yeah, exactly.
Xero have got us over a barrel as software vendors.
Yeah,
there's not much we can do apart from review the implications and potentially, reporting software. Reporting software needs to see the journals.
Yeah, 100%.
And the amount of money they're quoting for that at the moment is phenomenal. So
yeah,
in theory, Engage is not impacted by this at the moment, but we are still investigating and reading into this to make sure we understand it all. Because we're not looking at journals, we're just looking at the sales ledger and the invoices raised against each customer. So in theory, we're okay, and our status quo remains. But as I say, that is still pending a full, complete review. Yeah. So don't quote me on that yet. But there's so many softwares out there that are just spinning up, just getting launched. They've built in features for free that all of a sudden it's going to cost them a ton of money to use. And
we were talking off air, weren't we, about how, your likes of KPM, for example, who just connect, fair enough. Like they're probably going to not be as impacted. But then ones who want to give you more, like TaxCalc, where they don't just connect, but they also post journals back and forth. And, if you make an adjustment in your accounting ledger, it'll update your bookkeeping ledger, like innovation that we love to see. This just turns around and goes, well, hey, whoa, stop with your innovation because it's going to charge you. You're going to have to charge more to your end customer. So people like TaxCalc are going to have to make a decision, right? They built this cool feature, well loved, and, pushes the industry further because there's nothing worse than open balance and journals that don't make sense and all that sort of. They're eradicating that because you what do you call it, your general ledger and your accounting ledger are going to be the same, right? So that's great for the industry. So thumbs up, great innovation going forward. Now people like TaxCalc who's built that innovation, they've gone down that, they've spent that resource, they've got a decision to make. Do they kill that resource now because it's going to cost them X amount? Do they build some sort of add-on functionality that then you have to charge extra and it gets messy and all that sort of stuff. Like my camera's getting messy at the moment. Or do you have to increase your overall prices to accommodate for it? Like what is going on? Like tell me what's like how is this going to help the industry if we're going to have this fight on our hands all the time? So I don't know. I mean, what's your opinion on that? Do you think this is going to be detrimental or not?
Whether it's detrimental to those that are already up and running and existing or not is different question. That would be down to their financials and whether they can make it work or not, and whether they can take the hit on it or not. Should they have to take a hit for another software to profiteer out of this? No, but is what it is. However, my concern is stifling innovation in new products.
Yeah.
Like, let's go on the assumption, right? You need journal data, but you're just starting out. So what's that, $7.95 a month? Like, so you've got to generate 800 quid a month revenue just to cover the cost of a Xero integration. Never mind developers, product innovation, hosting data, customer support, customer success, etc. When you're starting out, that's prohibitive. Like, looking back at our journey at Engager, I'd be like, well, actually, do we build the Xero integration? I mean, we looked at it and we considered it, and that's why we brought a bolt-on in, because it was going to cost us to do it. Now, Xero's attitude is, well, you just increase your fees for everybody. It's like, well, no, because not everyone's using Xero. Some people are on Free, some people are on QuickBooks, some people are on Sage. Like, you can't increase everyone's fees just so Xero can profiteer. Like, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't sit comfortably with me, put it that way. But my concern is, well, Xero are doing it, so why don't we do it? Is the attitude other softwares are going to start taking.
Yeah. And especially when from outside looking, what is going on with this camera? It just yeah, look, when you look at the competition or where it sits in it with its competition, we've said it before, Xero have defined what their lane is, right? And they've got this lane and that's their lane. And, they're not interested in the smaller clients, not interested in the bigger clients. They've got this lane. And the whole lane itself is supposed to be around the fact that you can build on all these app experience. And that's what they're pushing. It's like, look, okay, this is our lane, but you can add on these cool, amazing experiences on top of it. And we're going to reward you by doing that. And your clients are going to have a better experience. And it's going to move, it's all around this. Like, for them, their big push going forward is how good they are with apps, how brilliant they are. So that's a relationship they've got to maintain. There's a relationship they've got to massage. There's a relationship they've got to have, for their success of their product, right? This isn't a way to make that relationship any better, right? This is just souring that relationship for a good. I mean, look at social media. Look at social media. It's absolutely a buzz with like negativity around it. And yeah, that's the vocal minority. So that's not all of them. There's probably a lot of people who aren't affected by this and actually don't care. They'll just absorb it. It's almost like, well, we Xero's got us where we've got today, so we're gonna keep going with them, right? We rise and we fall together with them. It's that sort of mentality with them.
There's also lots of companies out there that won't have a public opinion on this.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
What will happen is roadmaps and development will be stifled.
Yeah, 100%.
But the public, the users, we will never know that. Like, we haven't got anything on the roadmap for Xero at the moment, Engager, but let's say we had something on the roadmap for journals and we were going to do something clever with journals in Engager. As a business, we'd now have to sit there and go, actually, are we? Is it worth it? What's the value proposition of what we had planned? Because a lot of the things we do are very small little things that add up to a bigger picture. And there's going to be a lot of softwares out there now that are not necessarily being as vocal on social about this, but they will have to review the costs versus the benefits of every single product and feature that they have planned for the next few years because of this.
Yeah.
And the only people that suffer because of that lack of innovation is us.
Exactly.
As the users.
Exactly. AIMJB Accountant 6146 says, good morning to you too. And wow, I mean, this feels like a privilege. Dave Sellick's in the room. Hello, Dave. How are you doing?
In the conversation.
And if anyone knows about the world of Zero, then Dave is your man. It feels like a stealth price increase on the product. Ultimately, this will be pushed to users via price increases. Exactly. And more importantly, it's disincentive development around the API, data movement, which is everything for us accountants, continuing to develop more optimized accounting workflows. Yeah. And that's where Zero's led the way, right? And it has been solutions coming along prior to this to help us. I believe in innovation around movement of data is key for future innovation. Brilliant. And now those startups building in those areas are immediately fast tracked onto expensive enterprise level. Yeah. So all that's going to do is stifle the innovation. Yeah. Great point there, Dave. And again, thanks for being on here. I tell you what though, is this something where, or is this them being worried about the likes of Atlas and stuff like that? Because in theory, Atlas, so if you haven't seen the news and everything else coming forward, Atlas is your OpenAI's browser that's got ChatGPT built in. So in theory, it can grab a lot of data, and in theory, it could add data to it, right? It's a little bit primitive at the moment. Is this Zero going, well, going forward, people are going to just do this for free via something like Atlas? Are they trying to, mitigate against that? Maybe that's the only defense I can find for them in terms of not giving us something extra to like not building something with us, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is Engager worried that Atlas could come along and just like, because you don't have a marketplace for your API, right? Like you could lose out if you're not there.
Atlas is coming along and saving us a lot of development work, because what I've done is I've looked at every AI feature that competitors say they have, and I've replicated it in Atlas. So we don't actually have to build that ourselves, because you just use an AI browser, whether it's Atlas or whatever. So if anything, that just proves my point that I've made for a long time now of the AI features in practice management are majority skin deep, and they're not needed, because you could have spent that time doing a proper AI tool, doing something really powerful instead of doing something really gimmicky.
Yeah.
So for me, Atlas is a bit of a point made for me. So, but yeah, like I don't know if you've seen Zero share prices recently.
Yeah, I have mentioned it a few times. Yep.
But yeah, they're not doing well on the share market. So this is it's a money grab. It is profiteering. Like, not that they understand what the word profit means, but it's a money grab. They're looking at other softwares in other industries like Apple and going, right, how can we do that in our industry? Like, they're just sadly deluded that anyone's going to pay them $20 billion for access to Zero data, like Apple pays Google for access to Chrome.
Yeah. And 100 million between OpenAI and Intro, right? Like they're numbers that's not. Yeah, I get it.
So, but yeah, I do feel that this is just a way of shoring up rocky finances at Zero, because
they've got their product.
They've not announced any vision with the API here.
And
if they announced a vision, I'd start going, okay, value versus cost. You know me, I love my value versus cost ratio. It's like, right, that proposed value of what they're proposing in their roadmap versus the cost that they're proposing, maybe that's okay. But there's no vision. There's no, here's what we're doing with it. There's just, we sent it to all the software providers and probably didn't expect the software providers to go public with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it's vocal minority, isn't it, for us? But that vocal minority has been heard loud and clear, hasn't it? Like it's a bad taste. It's, it's not to expect, your favorite product to go and start building more APIs and more connections to. If anything, they're going to have to think about, do they have to reduce the functionality they've got just to balance the books? That does not feel right in any way, does it?
Yeah. I mean, silver lining for products that are already out there, this creates another barrier to entry for new software products. So
yeah, maybe
for software vendors, they're like, okay, that's another step higher on the barrier to entry. But for the end user, that's never a good thing. The end user needs that barrier to entry as low as possible to make sure as many new products and innovation comes through.
Yeah, and because like Dave said, that's how you build those future innovations, right? It is flowing that data from one to another. Bad times. But hey, look, they're market leaders at the moment, so they get to dictate.
Can you imagine the impact this is going to have on like Apron, for example?
Yeah. No, well, the impact is on us, not on them.
Well, yeah. They're going to pass this on, and then everyone's going to get angry with Apron for passing it on, and
they're going to get angry with us as the accountants and bookkeepers for, advising them to use this piece of software. And suddenly it's, we've just told them the increase in zero price. Now with the increase in their Apron price, blah, 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 blah. Like that's how it's going to be.
Just to clarify, guys, there may not be an increase in the Apron price. We don't know how they'll handle this, but very tin hat moment, tinfoil hat moment. Yeah,
but it'll be us. We're going to ones who's going to have to, build that trust for our client again, because they trusted us to choose these softwares in some respect for them, right? Help them choose what rights for what point, and out of our control, price rises could probably come their way. Right. Let's talk about free agents updates. So that's our next topic. It's free agents come along with some juicy little updates for us, all around, or mostly around the world of MTD. So they've gone for giving us a bit of a tool that we can use for making tax digital going forward. So key information all in one place. We're rolling out an MTD for income tax submission summary report page on your practice dashboard, providing a single centralized view of all MTD for income tax client submission status and obligation. Excuse me. And then this is the bit I like, and I hopefully this is something that the competition can look at and go, let's start looking at this, because I think this is really, really important. More control, less stress. We've also added new practice level controls for approval, submissions, and client visibility. Easily switch approvals on and off for MTD submission types. Best of all, these approval changes are tracked in your client audit trail. Have a final say on filing, preventing clients from filing directly to HMRC for both self-assessment and MTD for income tax, and manage client views, including hiding the taxes self-assessment tab, which self-assessment and MTD for income tax obligation clients can see on their tax timeline, giving them a tailored and streamlined view. Wow. And thank you so much, Free Agent, for going down this route.
That the Aaron Patrick feature.
Yeah.
Fairly sure, from what I've had conversation with him in the past, is this podcast influenced that development.
Amazing. Look, we'll say it again. Look, I am pro giving the clients the opportunity to have that like in their software. Love that. But it does cause conflict, right? And it does give us like that pain point of like sometimes the client's expectation. I've told you before, I've had a client who's rang me up shouting down the phone at me because he's concerned I didn't file his account, when actually I did. I just used our accounts production software to do it, right? Like I didn't file it within product. So this is absolutely I'm so happy for this. But yeah, I mean, you know more than me on these sort of features and everything else. Like, was this something you were expecting to come sooner rather than later, or what's your point of view on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fantastic. The fact that we can bring in all these statuses for the MTD clients into one place, ideal. Yep. I've not seen that yet in QuickBooks or Xero. I know Sage have got it. The ability to turn off functions from clients seeing them, so they don't get the idea that they can do it easily for them. It's always a win. But yeah, no, I'm really pleased with these. I think this is especially when you look at the market dynamics of Free Agent, with them getting more and more small businesses from RBS, NatWest, and Metal. Yes, they want to have that functionality for those users that don't have an accountant or bookkeeper. But for those that do, they need to give the accountant and bookkeeper the control on who can and can't file what, just for the protection of the relationship, really. So yeah, this is fantastic news from Free Agent.
Love this. I want this on more and more software out there. They've also said that they have an update for Alaka Bank. I still don't know why we're celebrating every time that Alaka Bank connects to one, but hey, here's a news article. It's there. So now supports Alaka Bank fees. So that's great. That's in there. They now have a Pleo.
I think the Alaka Bank one's an interesting flavor of direction, like sense of direction, because Alaka Bank don't really deal with anyone with less than £50,000 sat in the bank balance.
True.
4 years ago, would you have associated Alaka Bank and Free Agent as an idea, a worthy integration? Was it worth both?
The Venn
parties
diagram doesn't quite match up, right?
Yeah, because their client base doesn't sit in that kind of high wealth area necessarily. So to see that, I think it's a sign of the markets that Free Agent are already gradually moving into.
True.
Which is interesting.
That's a very good point. I mean, look, for me, I love Alaka Bank, really do. I've had some really good dealings with them from a client point of view. They've helped a lot of clients out and everything else. And they were the first to admit this, because the second that I not criticized, but I brought this up when they chatted about their last bank feed that connection. Can't remember who that one was with. All I'm saying is when you get a news article about how you're finally connected, bring something to the table, like fix some of those open banking issues. Like if this isn't just a quick fix and it's not just a turn a switch on here and suddenly you're connected, then let's bring something new to the table. Let's finally deliver the open banking promise we've been wanting. That's what I was hoping for with Alaka. It's not quite materialized. I'm hoping, I've had conversations with them, so hopefully, fingers crossed, they have a roadmap that they can get to that point. But yeah, I just feel like if we're going to shout about a bank connecting to a FMS solution, let's bring that with innovation. Let's bring that with something that we can all be excited about, because we know open banking's not delivered. We know it's frustrating. Like, we need someone like Alaka, and I think Alaka are one of the few that can push the boundaries, right? They have enough about them to go, right, let's deliver on what we need. So, then make pots actually work, for example. Let's make it so you can download the bank statements directly from your feed, all that sort of stuff, right? That we're just crying out for. Find and Fix has been updated as well. another one where we shouted about it and we moaned about it on the podcast. It's come through, so amazing. Well done. That's good. They've even said you can now fix categories like drawings, dividends, and director's loan in bulk, which is exactly the bit that I said was flawed. So yeah, nice one.
We have more influence than a TV program about the politics.
I love that. And it's all thanks to our wonderful community. What we wouldn't be here without you. Speaking of the community, Paul Whitehouse Chariot account says, will there be a market leaders in 16 months? Will they still be market leaders in 16 months time when they're 90% of their sold raise are acquiring software? You mean the 90% that's not within this this very defined lane that they're in? Hey, look, it's going to be an interesting few months, isn't it? It's definitely not set in stone who the market leader is going to be going forward. We'll see what happens. It way more than likely will still be them, but there's an opportunity for disruption, and that's certainly the case. Speaking of disruption, Chris Downing 8580. 8580. Wondering what the 8580 stands for. Sage already has this in the MTD agent. Do they? So you can turn off the empty. Well, there we are. It's both Sage and Free Agent leading the way. Please can the rest of the industry catch up if that is the case. I keep saying this. We need to be doing more. We need to be playing more with the Sage MTD solution, don't we? We need to be using it more often. Cool. All right then. So that's a great bit of news from there. Do you want to talk about this next topic, or should we move on to that topic?
No, let's talk about the next topic. It's only a 2-second job.
Okay, 2 seconds job. During the Formula One, there was a particular advert that definitely caught my eye, but also strangely, and I can't believe I'm saying this, caught your eye in a positive way. Do you want to explain what I'm talking about?
Yeah, so I watched the QuickBooks advert the other day, And as our regular listeners will know, I have not been the most positive person about QuickBooks adverts. Like, I have like the bloody chicken advert and the mini people advert in a record shop. I mean, good God, what were they thinking? Like, it's just horrific. And they literally, like a couple of years ago, they actually flew 2 people from London to Edinburgh to meet me to discuss my thoughts and feedback on TV adverts. And they showed me the latest idea of a TV advert. I ripped it apart and said it was absolutely bloody awful. And then
just
they
so
rolled it
I know,
anyway.
was honestly, it wasn't the one about the dogs being groomed in the back of a van.
Yes, it was.
It was that one. Yeah.
It was awful. Again, I ripped it apart, told them it was all wrong, and they rolled it anyway. So it's like, great, I've not been listened to. That was worthwhile. Never mind 2 hours of my time, but the poor sods that got flown from London to Edinburgh and back in a day. But I have to give credit where credit's due. I thought the QuickBooks advert talking about their AI was tasteful, professional. It mentioned working with your accountant and had like a Zoom call type thing going on. It almost feels like they started to listen. It just took several years for that feedback to sink in. But I mean, I messaged you saying it was a low bar. Like, this was like a really low bar to impress me with, considering the absolute tripe they've released in the past. But they got it over that low bar. I was quite impressed.
Fair play.
You even messaged me back saying, "Who's this? Has Johann been hacked?" But yeah, like, credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
It was better than the other crap they've produced. And it mentioned the accountants and bookkeepers relationship for seconds, yes, but that's more than they've done in the past, much to my protesting.
I mean, it's a 20-second advert, so seconds.
Exactly. There's only so much.
Right? Yeah.
Well, they were convinced in the last round that I was consulted on that there was no way they could ever fit it in.
Yeah, it had to be 2 different audiences, right?
Yeah, but clearly you could have fitted it in. You just chose not to because you think you know best. Not necessarily QuickBooks, but the agency that they employed to do this weird, wonderful stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, fair play to QuickBooks. It wasn't as bad as the other stuff they've released.
I mean, obviously I liked it, but I'm not sure outdo it with Intuit QuickBooks is going to stick. I don't know. That might have to live.
Yeah,
that was their little tagline at the end. Outdo it with QuickBooks. I don't know.
No,
we'll see.
I wasn't a fan of that bit, but never mind.
Yeah,
I was still flabbergasted they mentioned accountants and bookkeepers. Like, it's only taken 5 years of nagging, but they've done it. They've acknowledged we exist.
The agent stuff was tastefully done as well. I think that was that's what you want. You just want that little bit of awareness. We're raising awareness at this point, aren't we? Yeah. That's all we can do. Right, cool. Let's end on something a little bit fun then. So if you haven't already, and all right, full disclosure, people who don't like us talking about ChatGPT, unfortunately, this is ChatGPT segment, sorry. We tried to make a whole we tried to make a whole what was it, a whole a watch series on AI, and that's still there, and we'll still bring it from time to time. But I thought this one might just warrant it, because everyone's seen their Spotify rap styles, right? So Spotify showing you what you've listened to in the last me personally, it's Apple Music telling me I've listened to the Killers way more than I should have done in this particular year, and the lottery winners as well. I shout out to those as well. That's what my 2 guilty pleasures were this year. But you can also do it with Spotify with ChatGPT, and all you need to do is give them the prompt of something along the lines of "Give me a ChatGPT rap Spotify does and summarize my year with you," and that's exactly what me and Johann have just done. And we're gonna just go through some of the funny bits that we've come across. So I'll just start with mine, and then we'll move on to Johann's going forward. So my top themes of the year: building the AAG empire. That's my number one theme that I've done with ChatGPT, and I've pushed forward major strategic projects across both Bofix, AAG, and Ask the Accountant, creating a more connected, system-driven, scalable practice. Trinity, which is the name of my ChatGPT, became your reviewer, your analyst, and your creative partner. It says, the rise of the Ask the Accountant network was number 3. You built a media engine, podcast, webinars, CPD training. Not sure about that one. Vendor content and a merch store. Again, not sure about a merch store either. You solidified your brand as the UK's leading accounting tech educator. Not sure about that part either, but nice to be what do you call it? And then my favorite bit was towards the end, wasn't it? Where was it? Okay, your Trinity superlatives, right? So I had most satisfying win was your complaint letter that actually made QuickBooks listen, apparently. I mean, I'm not sure about that, but that's what it said my most satisfying win was. And the most Aaron move was automating a process before anyone else realized it needed automating. There we are. There was my wrap up for the year. That's on 6,000 plus messages, 500 plus tasks going forward. So, Johann, what has yours been revolving around? What's your
I'm starting to realize that I'm in an abusive relationship with ChatGPT, or I am abused. So we swapped from individual professional accounts to one big Teams account recently. So I've only got 312 conversations. But it said that's impressive considering at least 40 of them started with, okay, one last question, followed by 27 more questions. I've written 285,000 words in ChatGPT. So those conversations are very deep and meaningful. Apparently that's enough to fill a trilogy or to scare a junior accountant into a new career path. I'm telling you, it's a very abusive system I've got here.
That's what Jeremy Hunt would say.
So yeah, 34, hang on, let me get the stats. 34% of my conversations were about business strategy and growth. 27% was writing and content creation. 21% accounting, advisory, and due diligence. 12% was product and user experience idealization. And 6% was personal productivity.
Okay.
So
I wonder what 6% was.
After hours. Most popular repeated words were growth, clarity, community, friction, and honesty. And apparently, most of my conversations and my energy is, you have a ridiculous idea and you need me to make it sensible.
So Lizzie wrote that for you, right? Be honest.
I've employed people to do that for me in the past, so ChatGPT was a bargain. So yeah, no, I always think these things are interesting. Like the longest amount of words I've put into ChatGPT was 9,400 words. Can't remember what that was about. It's taking the mick out of me saying if I printed that, I'd have to have a forestry license. It's in a very abusive relationship I've got with ChatGPT, really. But it's classed me as my personality type with ChatGPT is the builder. You're not here for trivia. You're here to make things happen, better things, bigger things, things that matter. I like that.
Yeah, I love that. You've got to take it with a pinch of salt, though, because mine has lied to me in my wrap. So I told you the top 2 of the top themes. There was 4 themes. So one of them was total reinvention of reviews. You designed and refined a fully AI-powered accounts review tax workflow from FRS 102 account disclosure checks, which use CT corporation tax reconciliation to internal AML and risk steps to automate company sales cross-checking. Your process went from manual to elite. So yeah, that's true. Happy with that one. And then the 4th and final one, new products, new ambition. You outlined and began building your own work papers working paper system, ready to rival QuickBooks Working Papers, bridging Engager app with TaxCalc and pushing automated quality control to a new level. Unfortunately, ChatGPT, that's the product that you told me you were building for me, kept telling me to come back to on a regular basis, and never delivered. So, so yeah, I mean, you can tell me that was
like having an employee.
yeah. Never once delivered. We had a great idea. It was poorly executed. Thanks for that, ChatGPT. Thanks for reminding me of that there. So you've got to take it with a pinch of salt, right? Did yours give you a 2026 prediction? Out of curiosity. We'll put a prompt in. Let's see what yours comes up with. Mine was, next year looks like more scale, more automation, more content, more clients, and more recognition. And with the systems you've built, you're operating enterprise level with a boutique feel. Your biggest play will be launching the Ask the Accountant network as a CPD powerhouse and expanding AAG acquisitions. I mean, that scares me about Ask the Accountant network as a CPD power. I don't think that was where we were trying to take the network, but hey, that's what ChatGPT tells us we're going. Has your 2026 prediction come through?
Yep.
Go for
it. More acquisitions, but with a higher bar. Not so sure about that.
Talking about bar, let objection.
Apparently, I'll create and launch something I've not admitted out loud to yet.
Oh, now that's intriguing. That's what you've been. So is this the 6% you're alluding to?
Potentially. You'll become less. Your personal brand becomes less about an accountant who, and more about a tech founder who happens to also run an accounting firm.
Fair play.
I'd say I'm doing that transition already. I think that's a bit of a cop out from AI.
Maybe you'll double down in 2026 per ChatGPT.
Yeah. You'll continue to use AI not to replace thinking, but to accelerate decision making. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nice. Well, we believe that everyone should put their wrapped out there. So use that same command prompt. You can put the prompt exactly how you want it, but we put, give me a ChatGPT wrap like Spotify does and summarize my year with you. Something along those lines. Put it into ChatGPT, see what it comes out with, share it on socials, and we can all have a bit of a laugh and be inspired by it at the same time. Right then, I believe that is it. I believe that is Ask the Accountant episode 162 come to a wrap. And what a cracker it's been. We are definitely going to be covering questions sometime soon. It will probably be the kind of in between Christmas and New Year special episode. We're probably going to do that. So don't forget to use the link, get yourself questions in there. Get as many questions as you can, because we probably won't be doing a live one. I don't know for sure. But yeah, we're looking at potentially just bringing out a nice little chat, or me and Johann just going through some chats and everything else. Also, keep an eye out on the socials as well, because we will be going live for our bonus show. Is it this week or is it next week? Can you remember? Next week. Cool. We got next week where we are going to be bringing our best swag. We've got multiple categories, 3 different categories. And the team, the whole of the Ask the Accountant Network team is going to be coming along, and we're going to compete to see which one wins each of those categories. So it should be a load of fun. Remember, that one will be a freebie. And going forward, you'll be able to get that content via our new Patreon subscription tiers. Johann, anything else you want to plug, push, talk about before we go?
Nothing from me, mate. I'm just looking forward to getting my final trip down south done for 2025. Getting back and knowing that that's it until mid-January. I think I'm next down there again. So it'd be nice to have a couple of weeks off from traveling.
Yeah, love that. And if it's anything like me, because I did that 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, for Fusion, I got on the train. I think it's like 5:30 on the morning for the train Fusion, and I was on the train on the way down to London, counting down how long is it until I get to 7:30 on the Friday when I get to come home? So
done
yeah.
for the year.
Yeah, when it's your last one, it's just like, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
The big smoke doesn't quite do it for you, does it? At that point, it doesn't quite do it for you.
And
All
my
right,
immune
everyone.
system could do with a break to recover from all the nasty germs you pick up in places like London.
This is it. This is it. This is it. Yeah. I mean, yeah, just being on the underground, isn't it, is enough, isn't it? Yeah. Going through that. Awesome. All right. Well, and a big let's end on the congratulations of Lando Norris. Obviously, I mean, come on, what
a season!
What a season! What a season! Exactly right. What a season! And to say that next season should be just as chaotic with the whole new types of cars, and maybe one will just run away with it like we've had in previous years. But hopefully, fingers crossed, this could be another competitive season. So
yeah,
fingers crossed for that one. Brilliant. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. Have a good week, all, and we will see you this time, same place, same time, same everything else for another episode of Ask the Accountant. It's a bye from me.
And a bye from me.